Hello, and welcome to this episode of Open Space Radio. I'm Court Jones. We are just a few weeks away from NRPA's Family Health and Fitness Day, which is taking place on Saturday, June 10th. Family Health and Fitness Day is an annual celebration that promotes the importance of parks and recreation in keeping communities healthy. I'm thrilled to be talking more about Family Health and Fitness Day on today's episode, as well as all of the ways that Parks and Recreation provides accessible, close-to-home health and wellness opportunities in communities across the country. Joining me today is Cina Makres, a program specialist on NRPA's health team, who's leading up NRPA's Family Health and Fitness Day efforts this year, as well as Daniel Hatcher, the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships at Alliance for a Healthier Generation. Cina, I'm really excited because this is your first time on the podcast, and Daniel, you have been a huge supporter of the show for a long time and a previous guest, so I'm really looking forward to our conversation today, and just thank you both so much for joining me.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I'm really excited for this conversation. So just to get us started, can each of you tell me a little bit about yourselves and your roles at your respective organizations? Cina, we'll start with you.
Great. Thank you, Court. As Court mentioned, Cina Makres. I use she, her pronouns, and I have been with NRPA since October of 2021 in a program specialist role on NRPA's health and wellness team. My background is in public health. Right now, I currently work within NRPA's Healthy Aging Grant portfolio, but in the next few weeks, I will be transitioning to focus more so on our youth development work, specifically with our youth mentoring space. And this year, as Court mentioned, I am also leading NRPA's Family Health and Fitness Day campaign efforts, which is why I'm just really excited to be having this conversation with the both of you today.
All right, and I'm Daniel Hatcher. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the let me restart that. I'm the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships at the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. I have been there for 15 years. If you're not familiar with Healthier Generation, we are a national public health nonprofit laser focused on health equity, and we work with schools and community organizations and families all across the country. I like to think that I am a professional friend maker, so I have the joy of working with so many great partners at Healthier Generation as we work to ensure all young people are healthy and ready to succeed.
Amazing. Well, Cina, I'm so excited about this new role that you're transitioning into with NRPA and all of the amazing things you're going to do. And Daniel, professional friend maker sounds like the coolest job ever. And I think that is a very valid and accurate title for yourself. So I appreciate that.
Well, I have to give a shout out to my BFFs in this space. NRPA, y'all have been the best partners and friends in this work over the years. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
Well, right back at you. So today we're talking about NRPA's Family Health and Fitness Day. So Cina, can you just talk a little bit about this day and what we hope takes place at park and recreation agencies across the country on June 10th?
Absolutely. So NRPA's Family Health and Fitness Day is part of an annual campaign that essentially was created to uplift and promote the importance of parks and recreation in keeping communities, families, and individuals healthy and active. You know, we know the health benefits that parks provide, the physical, the mental, the social impacts that parks have on park users. And essentially, we want this campaign to be a celebration of that, recognizing the power of parks and recreation while also encouraging folks to get outside and engage with their local parks and recreation and experience these benefits. So although it is an annual campaign and we definitely want this to be celebrated every day of the year, this specific day is celebrated the second Saturday in June each year. As you mentioned, Court, this year it falls on Saturday, June 10th. And what we really hope to see is agencies everywhere, all over the country, wherever you are, big or small, celebrating this day with NRPA. And we really want to see agencies inviting and welcoming families and community members to get active and come join them at their local park or recreation centers. And there are just so many fun and creative and unique ways that park and recreation agencies can do this. And we really want to see agencies using social media to encourage community members to use their parks and trails on Saturday, June 10th, and celebrate nature and the outdoors. We've also seen agencies hosting health and wellness fairs on this day. We've seen agencies incorporate family fun runs or Ninja Nation courses even for youth, and we've seen agencies set up education booths really focused on educating community members on things like health and nutrition and wellness. And we've also had agencies engage with different community-based organizations and sponsors to provide things like giveaways, sports activities, arts and crafts, really just so many options. And I think as a park and recreation professional, it's just a fantastic opportunity to really be as creative as you want in terms of the events you plan for this day. And we really just want agencies to take that opportunity and run with it.
Yeah, and I love that because and I love that you mentioned, like, this is a day. We want this to be something that is, recognized and uplifted throughout the year, and all of the amazing, health and well-being resources and opportunities that are available through local parks and recreation. But it's such a great day to drive that awareness and really highlight those resources and programs and opportunities on one unified day. And like you said, it's really you can be super creative with it and do this however you want. There's not really guidelines around how you can celebrate. It's really just uplifting those opportunities for your community. And I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So can we talk a little bit about the connection between parks and recreation and health and well-being, and why Parks and Recreation is so well positioned to build healthier communities?
Well, I'm happy to start. Park and Recreation professionals, you're absolutely hubs for community health. And like Cina, when I say health, I'm thinking physical, mental, and social, emotional. A friend of mine, Noah, at Let's Move in Libraries, we often talk about how librarians are public health professionals. And the same absolutely goes for Park and Rec professionals. So if folks listening, if you take one thing from what I'm saying, I want you to know that you are an essential player in public health. And I wanted to give an example. So I live in the District of Columbia, right next to Howard University, and I live just around the corner from Banneker Recreation and Community Center. And I walk that track multiple times a week. It's like my walking meeting spot during the day. If you see a photo of me posting something on social related to a walking meeting, it's probably at Banneker Community Center. So last night I went for a walk, and folks there were playing baseball. There was a running club going on. There were some small group workouts, folks just relaxing. A lot of people just like me were enjoying a walk. So Banneker and other recreation sites, they bring us together. During the summer, they're serving summer meals. There's always a big banner promoting DC summer meals at that site. During the winter, it's served as a warming center. There's a voting ballot drop-off box there. The pool on Saturdays in the summer is always a tradition. So for me, parks are convening spots. They foster belonging and connection. They're a place to see your neighbors and your friends. And thinking about health equity, the parks are safe, they're well lit, they're accessible, and depending on the amount of adversity and trauma that you've experienced in your life, having a safe place where you don't have to worry is really important. You can lower your guard, and there's a piece here about tree equity as well, and having access to green space and to be able to enjoy the shade of trees as well. So Park and Rec, absolute hubs for community health.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Cina.
No, I love that. I was just going to add on a few things. One, absolutely the reason that Parks and Recreation is so well equipped to build healthy and resilient communities is because they serve as community wellness hubs, and they provide the community with resources and employment opportunities and educational opportunities and access to service and spaces and programs that allow for physical activity, for even benefits to mental health, access to parks and green space helps with reductions in stress, anxiety, and depression, and as Daniel said, allows you, to socialize with others and escape a lot of those daily stressors. And I think that's essential in just overall, improving quality of life, and it really makes all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really love everything that both of you just said, because a lot of times when we talk about health, there's this misconception that we're just talking about physical health. And so you all talking about, the mental health aspects of this, the social health aspects of this, and connectedness and belonging and feeling safe. That's such a big piece of overall health. And, thinking about, we're in the middle of Mental Health Awareness Month right now. And so talking about how Parks and Recreation touches every aspect of health is so important. And so I really appreciate that. So thinking about this connection, why is a community event like Family Health and Fitness Day such a good way to build on this and continue to connect our community members with the power of Parks and Recreation?
I can jump in here first. I think connecting community members with Parks and Recreation is such a critical piece towards its success. You can develop brand new parks or improve existing parks, but all of these advancements have little impact if you don't engage the community. And I think this really emphasizes the importance of participating in national initiatives and campaigns as a way to create community engagement opportunities and public awareness opportunities. And this idea of building a national movement involves getting folks on board with the movement and the mission, educating them about the benefits, and then, of course, engaging people with Parks and Recreation and celebrating that result. And I think this is essentially the goal of Family Health and Fitness Day. We want to educate individuals and promote the importance of Parks and Recreation in terms of advancing health and well-being. And I think by ensuring that this day involves the entire community, we want Park and Recreation agencies, community-based organizations, healthcare providers, sponsors, of course, community members, families. Our goal is to bring these groups together to not only experience the health and wellness benefits of Parks and Recreation, but also be more likely to continue using Parks and Recreation even outside of this day and every other day of the year.
I love that. I'll just build on that. Cina, you mentioned social media a little bit ago. So at Healthier Generation, I lead partnerships, but I actually sit on the marketing communications team. So I love any of these kind of events and activities that give us an excuse to share lots of positive messages on social media and really shift the narrative, to shift the narrative of negative news and some of the toxic things that can come from social media. You mentioned at the beginning celebration. This is just a reason to celebrate each other, our communities, ourselves. My CEO, Kathy Higgins, she often talks about having this mindset of abundance and just finding good things to be happy about. So I just imagine that, this June 10th, we can just flood social media, use the hashtag NRPA Family Health Day with joyful photos of being active outside and feeling a great sense of togetherness. Our kids need this positivity. We need this positivity. So I'm excited. I'm appreciative that you all created this day as an excuse for us to celebrate together. I love it.
Yeah, and I think that's, when you're building these, national kind of awareness campaigns, I think it's so important to be able to leverage things like social media and all of these different tools to reach our communities. And, Cina, like you said, like all of these things are great, but if our communities don't know about them, they don't make an impact. And so I think that's such an important piece, is that community engagement and driving that awareness and driving that excitement about a day and a celebration like this. And Daniel, I certainly appreciate all of your social media posts when you're, during your walking meetings. It always inspires me to I'm like, oh, Daniel's outside. I should take a break and I should go outside. So that's appreciated. And so to see park and recreation agencies, use that as a tool to inspire people in their community to take advantage of these things is really important. So thinking about partnerships, and this is something we've kind of talked about a little bit already, but how can local governments and community organizations work together to promote healthy lifestyles. We know that, in this community wellness hub model, it's all about partnerships and community organizations working together. So how important are partnerships in promoting community health?
I'm happy to take this one. Partnerships are everything. And the way I think that can happen really comes down to 3 words: center, use, voice. I just had this incredible experience at the Kentucky Statewide Tobacco Control Conference in Lexington. And it was this amazing collection of community organizations, health departments, Department of Ed, the University of Kentucky Department of Behavioral Health, and 2 incredible statewide youth advisory boards. One is I Can End the Trend, and the other is Kentucky Youth Advocates. And I love this example because it's a nice model of working together by bringing young people together and supporting those young people in tangible projects. And one of the tangible projects that the students in Kentucky had just done was photo voice. So for this activity, the students captured photos of marketing around vaping and tobacco, and then mobilized together to raise awareness and drive policy change. So even if we struggle to collaborate, we can let kids lead the way, bring students together, ask them what they want and need. They're the most impacted by policies and practices anyway, so starting with them can make it a lot easier for us to collaborate with each other.
Absolutely, and I 100% agree with that. And I'll just add, in terms of community organizations, each community organization brings something different to the table, brings a different level of expertise, brings a different level of different backgrounds, different target populations, and that can be huge as well. And when local governments engage with community organizations, the impact and reach of so many different programs and projects can just be expanded significantly.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. We talk a lot about partnerships as this really important group project sometimes. And it's everybody's bringing their resources and own expertise that one member of that partnership may or may not have. And so when it's working together and bringing those resources and bringing that expertise together, the impact is so much greater. And so I know we have talked about how park and recreation agencies can celebrate Family Health and Fitness Day, but can you share any ideas for families to celebrate on June 10th and prioritize their health and well-being together through visiting their local parks and recreation?
There are so many fun ideas that we can share. For one, you can go for a family walk or a hike or a bike ride on your local trails. If you have your pets, take your pets with you for a hike. You can take your littles to the park playground. If you are near water activities, go hiking. You can go paddleboarding, kayaking. Sports, you can play soccer, throw around a frisbee, play tennis. Even visiting your local farmer's market is a great idea, having a family picnic afterwards. Even just simply enjoying the outdoors and exploring nature. You can go bird watching or spend some time identifying plants or do yoga outside. The list just really goes on, and there are so many ways you can celebrate as a park user. And I think the most important thing and what we really encourage you to do is just do the activities that bring you the most joy. And we were talking about social media a little bit earlier, and we also encourage you to take photographs of you enjoying these activities and share them with us. We would just love to see all the different ways that you all choose to celebrate.
Cina, I loved everything you said. I feel like you checked off so many boxes of one of my favorite Healthier Generation resources, which is called Nature Bingo. And if folks want to find it, all you have to do is look on social for hashtag Nature Bingo, and it'll pop right up. We just made another version of a Nature Bingo with an amazing partner that supports military families. They're called Blue Star Families. One of the activities on the bingo card that I'll add to your amazing list, and shout out to my friend Nicole who came up with this idea or shared this idea, is called sound mapping. I like it because it's a really restorative, calming activity. So I would encourage families and anyone listening, visit your local park. Just take a few minutes to observe and listen to the sounds around you. There's so much busyness and stress going on. Just take a few moments to think about and observe the sounds around you. You could change it up into a rainbow walk where you look for colors or textures. But just another simple activity for folks to add to their list. And maybe on June 10th, we can all just go to our parks and take a collective deep breath. I think we all could use that.
I really like that idea. Cina, I really like how you said, do whatever brings you joy out of all of these options that are available to you. And Daniel, the sound mapping sounds extremely relaxing and grounding. I might try that later today. But yeah, love all of these ideas, and love how it's just, it's plug and play. Do whatever is available to you, whatever brings you joy, as long as you're doing something. And so I really like that. So considering that many park and recreation agencies will want to promote this day to their communities, what is available that can help them do that? I know we've talked about there's a toolkit available, but Cina, maybe you can talk about what's included in that toolkit and available to help with promotion.
Absolutely. NRPA has many resources available for this exact purpose. As Court just mentioned, NRPA has released a Family Health and Fitness Day Outreach Toolkit. This is available on our website for anyone to reference, download, use as a guide while planning celebrations for your Family Health and Fitness Day events. This toolkit really does offer a bundle of different resources to assist with planning, promotion, and implementation of events. It includes research on the health and wellness benefits, which of course can be shared with your community, and promotional materials. It also includes marketing and social media templates, which is great. These can be used to promote your events to the community and actually get community members to come out and celebrate with you, which is very important. This year we also added some pretty awesome new pieces that we are really excited about. With the help of NRPA's evaluation team, we included a detailed section in the toolkit that provides instructions on how to collect data and measure the impact of your Family Health and Fitness Day events. And this piece is so important because agencies can use this data to secure things like budget funding or support from city leadership, gain sponsors. It's also just a great way to collect and share success stories and testimonies from the many different community members that are attending your events. One other thing I'll add is NRPA also published a Family Health and Fitness Day informational webinar that featured some pretty wonderful speakers and talents in this work. We were joined by Caitlin Graff, a representative from CDC's Division of Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Obesity, and she shared some incredible information on the importance of participating in national campaigns, which we talked a little bit about earlier. We were also joined by two local park and recreation agencies, the city of Georgetown, Texas, and the town of Erie, Colorado. And these two agencies have held some awesome Family Health and Fitness Day events in the past. And they were kind enough to not only share their past events and experiences around this day, but also what they're planning to do to celebrate this year on June 10th. So highly recommend giving that webinar a watch, that toolkit a look, and some really great information from exceptional professionals in this work. And especially if you're looking for ideas of how you can bring this event to your park and recreation agency, or just looking for ways to get involved, those are two wonderful resources.
Absolutely. Well, we will be sure to link to that webinar and the toolkit. If you're listening and checking out that toolkit, Cina did an amazing job with this year's toolkit. And I really love that evaluation piece that's included this year, because when we have events like this, it's great to say, hey, this was a success. The community loved it. But when you have the data to back that up, and then you can present that to decision makers and show like this had such a great impact on our community. How can we get support to make it better and to continue to amplify these important resources that are available to our community? And so having that piece included is so important. And I think agencies are going to really find that helpful when they're trying to measure the impact of this day.
Absolutely.
So I know between NRPA and Alliance for a Healthier Generation, there are a ton of resources available. So are there any other resources that may help park and recreation agencies with any of their health and wellness initiatives?
Yeah, I'm happy to add one more, and that is Healthier Generations Cole's Healthy at Home Resource Hub. It's a nice collection of resources tied to nutrition and physical activity and social emotional health, all geared toward families. It's in English and in Spanish. So if folks are looking for resources to pass along to families, they just have to visit coleshealthyathome.org and get free access to that whole collection. And one of my new favorite resources in that collection is actually a free training around physical activity. And I bring that up because I wanted to give a shout out to the NRPA conference. Because at the last NRPA conference, I was able to reconnect with a friend of mine at the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. And they were a great partner in that training. So that wouldn't have come about except for the NRPA conference. We also teamed up with Go Noodle and one of America's Healthiest Schools for that training as well. So it's a fun resource to share simple ideas with families, but with summer around the corner, it's also a nice training to share with new staff that might be working directly with young people and families this summer if physical activity is a priority for your recreation center.
That's wonderful, and definitely appreciate you sharing those. In terms of health and wellness initiatives, of course, I will do a quick plug for NRPA's Community Wellness Hub Toolkit. This toolkit includes some incredible information, including evidence, case studies, and additional resources that can essentially assist park and recreation professionals as they transform parks and recreation as community wellness hubs, which are, again, those trusted gathering spaces that connect community members to essential services and programs and spaces to improve health outcomes while also just, advancing quality of life. And again, NRPA also has a lot of different blogs and learning opportunities and just a ton of resources available to support different health and wellness initiatives as well.
Definitely. We'll link to all of these resources as well with this episode. And Daniel, thanks for the shout out for the NRPA annual conference. The amount of connections and just good things that come out of that continue to amaze me. And so appreciate that shout out now that registration is officially open. So on a personal level, what are some of the ways that each of you use Parks and Recreation to improve your health and well-being? Daniel, I know you kind of talked a little bit about your local recreation center, but what do each of you all do to just, stay healthy, stay active, keep your mind in a good place, and further, what are your plans for June 10th?
I can jump in. One, for June 10th, first of all, I'm excited to see the events my local community has planned around this day. A personal favorite of mine is biking, so I will most likely be taking my family out for a bike ride on June 10th, one of our local park trails. I also love using Parks and Recreation for sports purposes. I come from a very big basketball family, so we've always loved playing outdoors at recreation centers and just kind of enjoying that time together, but also, of course, getting a little competitive. We're a very competitive family and such like that. But I think just really spending time with family and spending times outdoors is what I'm going to plan to do.
And Court, if you didn't hear me say it before, I'll say it again. My park and rec space helps my health through walking meetings. As we talk about supporting families and kids, it all ties back to us taking care of ourselves. So, I would love to see more companies begin to partner with Park and Rec to make active meetings and gatherings the norm. So that's my favorite thing about my local park, is just having a safe place to go take a call during the day. And then for June 10th, excited that Family Health and Fitness Day overlaps with Pride Month in June, so I'll probably be celebrating with friends and having a picnic in my favorite park. I think that just gets to the important life-saving work that Park and Rec professionals do. If you're from a community that has experienced trauma, reducing your toxic stress by being in nature, gathering with your friends and chosen family is absolutely critical. So for me that day, it's going to be a lot of fun, but very appreciative of the work that Park and Rec pros do to create those safe spaces.
Definitely. Well, I'm excited to hear what each of you are going to be doing on June 10th. I think I'm probably, and this idea was sparked at the beginning of this conversation because I hadn't made my plans for June 10th yet, but have learned that there is a very nice farmer's market in our new neighborhood. So definitely going to go check that out, probably head to the local park and maybe have a picnic. So I appreciate you all sharing your ideas and sparking inspiration for me and what my wife and I are going to do on June 10th. So I appreciate that. This has been a really great conversation. I've really enjoyed learning a little bit more about what we're hoping happens on Family Health and Fitness Day, all of the things that can be done to celebrate, all of these amazing resources to continue to bolster community health. Is there anything else that you feel is important to share with listeners before we go, or any last thoughts?
I can jump in. Oh.
Go ahead, Cina.
I'll jump in here. I'd say for one, and we mentioned this earlier, let this be a day to let your creativity shine. And park users, park and recreation agencies, community organizations, whoever you are, wherever you are, celebrate Family Health and Fitness Day with us. There are just so many unique ways to celebrate. So really be as creative as you can. And I think another thing I'll just reiterate is please share your photos and stories with us. Data collection, storytelling, images, these are all so crucial in showcasing the power of parks and recreation in terms of advancing health and wellness, and are really needed to get this field the recognition it deserves. And I think that's very important. So definitely, and we want to see them. So definitely share, your photos and stories with us. And I'll just add, if any of our listeners do have any questions about Family Health and Fitness Day, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Happy to help. But yeah, I just absolutely appreciate this conversation with you, Cord and Daniel, and just really excited to see how all of our listeners celebrate Family Health and Fitness Day on June 10th.
And I just wanted to plug serving summer meals or promoting summer meal service during Family Health and Fitness Day on June 10th. My friend Clarissa over at Food Research and Action Center, they have a ton of resources in supporting recreation sites and getting the word out about summer meals. We all know that when school lets out, millions of low-income kids lose access to food. So Family Health and Fitness Day is a great opportunity to encourage families to come back to the recreation sites all throughout the summer to access meals. And having fun enrichment is a great way to reduce stigma. So folks can come for fun. Yes, they're getting a meal during the summer, but there's a lot of great enrichment activities and sports that happen at rec sites during the summer too. So it's a way we can all reduce stigma and just make sure everyone has a healthy meal during the summer. And I'll add, if you need enrichment ideas or want a partner, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help any folks listening if there's specific resources that they need to connect the dots between academic enrichment and summer meals.
Love that idea so much. I am just so grateful that both of you all were able to join and have this conversation today. So thank you all so much. And I'm really excited for Family Health and Fitness Day on June 10th and all of the other great work that's going to continue to happen throughout the year. So I just appreciate you both so much. And thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. Appreciate this conversation.